In this video, we are going to talk about geometry. Now, when you build maps inside of Hammer, your maps are going to consist of two things. Just two things. Geometry
and entities.
And entities. That's it. If it's not one of those two things, it's probably not in Hammer. So in this video, again, we're going to show you how to create and edit your geometry.
And to make geometry, we need to use the block tool. Over here, we have different kinds of primitives we can make, and we'll start up with a simple block primitive. You've seen this before, you know what we're doing.
It's a block.
It's a big old block.
Yeah.
Then we can choose other objects like a sphere.
A sphere. You guys got to cut Jacob, Rap, a little bit of a break because he has a hard time saying the word
It's a round sphere.
I can't even say it like you do.
Sphere. Because I'm lead.
Yeah, you are lead.
I'm lead. We can also select a spike which is basically a cone.
It's a cone. They just didn't want to call it.
And a cylinder. And the two interesting things here is the torus and the arch. That's right. So let's go ahead and try to make a torus. And whoa!
Yeah.
Lots of properties.
You get this window full of options. Now, what do these options do? Are you going to show us?
I'm going to show some of them. Basically, this window will...
You're going to show them all.
I'm going to show all of them.
I'm going to make sure you show them all.
This window shows you the torus, what it will look like if you cut it over.
So, think of a torus as a donut, okay? Close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes.
I'm closing my eyes.
All right, you picture a donut
Don't
in your head.
touch me.
I'm not touching you.
Okay.
All right, you picture a donut in your head, a big, beautiful donut. Now, take that donut and cut it in half. Now look at the inside of that donut where you see all the bread and maybe it's got a little bit of filling in there. That is the cross section.
That's a donut.
That's the cross section. If you were to take the donut and maybe put it back together and look at it from above, like you lay it down on the table and then look down at it, then you get this top view. Oh, by the way, you need to open your eyes and see what Rap's playing.
Yeah.
That's the top view of the donut. The upper window is the cross section of the donut. Keep that in mind because it's real easy to get this confused if you've never done this before.
The preview button will update the torus preview so it won't update automatically. We got the wall width so we can make the torus wider, the wall wider.
Think of it as the ability to make a hollow torus, and that's going to control the thickness of the walls.
We can choose how many sides we want, so we can crank this up to 60 and get a round shape, or we can stay at 4 and get this square shape.
Now keep in mind that right now that's the number of sides of the cross section, not the number of sides around the torus.
We can adjust the arc, so we can make it basically cut it in half from the other side.
More sides.
Yeah, I need some more sides. Sides, 60.
Ooh, that's a lot of sides.
That's a lot of sides. Okay, that's too much. 45. Give me something. Number. I was struck by lightning. There you go.
So you can see how it's going only 180 degrees around.
Cuts it in half, and you can adjust the start angle. So something like that, and now we have a half of a torus.
Sure.
The cross-section radius is the radius of the inner or the outer circle, and we can compute the maximum so that we get the biggest possible radius.
Okay, cool.
Then there's, if you look from the donut from above, we got rotation sides, so how many sides do we got? We can crank this up a little bit. We got arc, so how many times does it rotate around, and 360 would be a full rotation. So go ahead and crank this up again. We got rotation.
Leave it 360. It'll be okay.
360. Let's go to 108 just to show something. Rotation start angle we can adjust so it'll look differently, start at different points.
Right.
And of course, this doesn't affect anything when we're 360 because.
Or 350.
360. I can type. There you go.
Gotcha.
Rotation height will allow the end of the torus to be above so you can basically make a spiral.
Right.
shape.
As the torus rotates around, you can lift it up to create spiraling surfaces. Go ahead for now, though, and just create a basic torus. So you might want to adjust your cross section a little bit.
360. You can also hit the circle button. It'll make it go just 360 automatically.
Maybe boost your radius up to something like 150.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. There you go.
Or maybe 150. Okay, let's try half that. 75.
75.
I'm being a little picky. All right, that looks a whole lot better. Adjust your
height,
wall. Your wall width, maybe down to about 16.
16, preview.
There you go.
There you go. Just hit OK, and we have a basic torus.
And you can actually fly into that.
It's hollow.
Yeah, it's got hollow.
That's kind of a
tunnel. So using that, go ahead and show them how you could make like a spiraling tunnel.
A spiraling tunnel.
Or a spiraling hallway.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, make a hallway. That'd be cool.
Make a spiraling hallway. So I'm going to move this a little out of the way and going to create the object. We want wall width to be around 30. We want 4 sides because it's a hallway.
We want the wall width to be 30.
Just because.
Kind of thick wall.
Yeah, I guess.
Try 16. Leave
16.
it down.
Leave it at 16. Arc is going to be 360, and the start angle would be 45, since it needs to be level with us.
Cool, and that gives us a nice squarish cross section.
We can leave
give us our hallway look.
We can leave the cross section radius. The rotation sides is okay. We could crank the rotation arc up so that it'll spiral multiple times. Rotation start angle, just leave it null. And rotation height, let's crank this up to 700. Press OK. And now...
Wow. It looks like you need a higher rotation height. Try again.
Let's try again.
Let's do it again.
Do it again. Higher rotation height. 700, thank you. Okay. So there you go. This is a mice tunnel. So a mice can run around here. Basically what we got, or a snake. But the concept gets through.
Right, you can adjust that and really customize it. But it's a really powerful tool. You can use that to make all sorts of things, from spirals to tunnels to just 90-degree corners if you need them. The list just goes on and on.
Yay. Another primitive we got that's interesting is the
arch.
The arch.
Yeah.
And what this will allow you to do is make an arch, or a circle if you want to. Just go ahead and show it here. There's the wall width, so basically the width of the walls. This is looking on it from above. I'll take this down to 100 number sides. Could take this up to 16 just to make it nice and round. The arc, 150 just to cut it in half. Start angle, basic, and a height. So that's to make it spiral again.
Right. What the arch is going to do is create a series of blocks to rotate around and actually make the arch itself. So what you can do is add height to each block as they're duplicated, so they won't all be planar to one another. In effect, it looks kind of like a staircase that spirals around.
That's right. If we just go...
well, go ahead. Just start off and make a basic arch.
Okay,
just so you can
basic
see that.
arch. 180. That should be good.
So there you go. You could rotate that, and it'd look all nice. Do like a vaulted ceiling kind of look.
Magnet or whatever.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I'm going to go ahead and make a tiny staircase just for the fun of it. 360. And the number side is fine. Wall width is fine. Maybe crank this up anyway. Add height, let's add 40 every time. And just go ahead and press OK. And now we got a funky staircase. That's really dangerous.
It's just because you drew that cube out in kind of a funny shape. But that's cool, because that means your spiraling staircase can have like an oval shape if you wanted to. And what RapRap's doing is just duplicating this straight up to form the spiral itself. Because you can only go up to 360 inside of that tool.
So yeah, there you got it.
Very nice. So we've shown now how you can create geometry. How can you edit geometry?
There's several ways inside of Hammer to edit geometry. I'll just go ahead and create a new... No, I'll just keep this. Just because. One of the tools is the cutting tool, which is almost in every map editing software out there. We've shown it before. You select an object. Actually, you can select multiple objects. So let's go ahead and do that. Now we got 2 objects selected.
I'll tell you what, just to make everyone's lives a little easier, go ahead and do a new scene.
Yeah, let's make
and just bring in a normal block, because it's a lot easier to see how it's going to work on just something as basic as a
block. And go create object. Just give me a second right here.
Sure.
I'll duplicate it using the Shift key. So there you go. So now selecting both of them. We're going to hold the mouse button at one of the edges.
Now, which mouse button?
The left mouse button.
Okay.
And drag it, and it'll show the white area is the area that will stay when we hit enter.
Sure. The part that's not highlighted will be deleted.
So if we hit the clipping tool again, we can change how that works.
Gotcha.
We're going to keep both for now.
Very nice.
Also, the vertex tool will allow you to edit vertices and edges. And by default, it shows vertices and edges. If you press it again, it'll show vertices only, and press it again, or edges only, and if you press it again, vertices only.
Mm-hmm. In essence, this gives you the ability to model out your geometry.
You can be a modeler, and you can get all sorts of funny shapes. Notice that change doesn't happen until you select another tool.
Mm-hmm. Just do make sure when you're moving around these vertices and these edges that you are snapping to the grid so nothing really crazy begins to happen with your geometry.
Just going to delete that. Now, two other things that'll make your life easier when you're creating a level is the carve tool and the make hollow tool.
Let's start out with hollow. Hollow is going to be really important because when we create this block, it is more or less like a brick. It is a
If you go inside of it, there's nothing in there.
Right. It's pretty much, you can think of it like a solid brick that you can't get into. So if you wanted to turn this into a room, you need to hollow it out.
And we can do that under the Tools menu. There's a Make Hollow button, and we can choose if we want it to hollow inwards or outward. So -16 would make it go out.
Right. They give you nice little instructions on the window there.
Yeah. And now we have a 16-unit wide
so now if we go inside, we can see walls and a ceiling.
We can go inside and stuff. Also, the carve tool. We go ahead and create a new object. We can carve, kind of cut into the geometry we got using another piece of geometry. So let's say we want to cut a square into this piece.
Okay.
We go to Tools, Carve, or we use the Carve button right here. And now we have a hole.
It's a little bit hard to see, but there is a hole there that has been chopped out. And this is how you can make doorways in your scene or holes in the floor. Or really, there's a huge variety of applications for this. It's kind of like a Boolean operation, except when you're done, you have to delete your carve object, or at least get it out of the way.
And notice that we got the plane that was here before has been split up into smaller planes. So that's something to take into consideration.
Right,
like when you make spears, you might want to carve out the area you want to carve with the spear, because else it'll give you a lot of small cuts of the plane.
Sure. So let's see. That's carve. We've done hollow. Is there anything else that you can think of for editing geometry?
Not really.
Okay. So that is going to wrap it up for this lesson over creating and editing geometry. Thanks a lot.